And so without further ado, please help me welcome the number one guy, our leader, Mr. Timothy Herr. Welcome to the call.
Man, Chris is saying all these nice things about me, but the reality is he's the famous guy, right? This guy was a famous K-pop celebrity, right? I'm just a go-kart track attendant, so I don't know who's gonna write a book about me. Maybe it'll be called How an Ugly Guy Can Become Successful in the Beauty Industry. Man, I'm so excited, you guys. What a great training so far. I love kind of everybody kind of staying focused on what the announcements are, on what the excitement level is, and Chris kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. You know, what's going on about this new promotion? I'll tell you this though, the directors, man, we've had 3 calls this week about this, planning this thing. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be really exciting. So I'm excited about it. There's gonna be a lot of money we're gonna throw at everybody. We're gonna have some fun, but today I'm just really excited about the timing right now, where we are, and really giving you some valuable information. And I hope right now, you're at a place in time where you're looking at your life saying, hey, look, you know what? I'm ready to go to that next level. That's the biggest thing, is that where you are right now and where you're going, and that transition is going to happen, you're not going to be the same person. I think that's the biggest thing. I think sometimes people think, oh, is it really possible for me to, to really achieve an amazing amount of success? And the answer is obvious, right? I can promise you that as you start to grow and succeed in this business, you'll be able to see further, you'll be able to see more, and you'll be able to see the possibilities. That's really what happened. When I got started in this industry, a lot of you know my story. Is like, look, there's no reason why, I was able to become successful, but I just had a great mentor and a willingness to learn. When I was 17 years old, high school dropout, most of us, probably have kids. I've got 3 kids that are 17 and older, and I would have never wanted them to hang out with me when I was 17. I was like a bad influence, not going anywhere, and really a distraction to everybody that I was around. And it's interesting how blessings can happen to you. It's just really amazing that somebody thought enough of me to introduce me to this industry. It's like, if you guys knew me, none of you guys would have even introduced me to this business. So it's really a blessing. Like, I can't even believe somebody introduced me to this, this type of business, 30 years ago. And it's been a dream come true. It really has. And the blessing is not just so much money that you can make, because obviously that's, that goes without saying, but it's really about the lives that you can change. That's really what it's about for me. And people always ask me, like, why are you so excited all the time? And why do you want to share this business with everybody? If somebody, like, I'm telling you, if you guys saw my schedule in the last week, you would freak out. I was doing nine presentations the last 3 days. Today, I didn't do as many. I only did like 6 presentations a day. But it's like, I'm just so excited. I don't want anybody to miss out on this. I just get so, it's like, man, we have something that's so special here. And it's just so exciting about what can happen for everybody. I don't want people to miss it, and people think I'm crazy. You'll see, if you saw me pumping gas, you'd be like, there's something wrong with this guy. Cause I'm over here talking to people as my gas is being pumped, recruiting people, go to the grocery store. I just can't stop talking about this. It's just like, we found something so special. It's like, I can't shut up about it. So I'm so fired up tonight. I really think a lot of you really get kind of an aha moment tonight. Some of you obviously, you're already having a massive amount of success, and probably, are already blown away by the amount of success you've had. But I think that tonight will really take everybody's business to the next level. So I'm really fired up about this training, and I don't want to spend too much time. I want to jump right into it. But, this is an exciting training for me to share, because it's really something that when we got involved in skincare, I got involved in skincare 16 years ago. And I never thought I would do skincare. I never even put lotion on my face, anywhere on my, like, I never, like, maybe when I was a little kid, my mom put lotion on me, but I just never put lotion anywhere. Like, when my lips get chapped, I just lick them, like I never thought I could do skincare, so the fact that I was able to amass a fortune in skincare, I know that anybody can do this. So don't ever think like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Literally, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And to me, it's the industry to be involved in, because who doesn't want to look better? Like, try to find somebody that's like, hey, I want to look a little uglier. Like, it's hard to find those people. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about, I talked about this last week, and a couple people really liked it. So I thought I might show it again. But it's really the 4 stages of learning, right? It's like, everybody would agree at one time, when you were a baby, how were you at walking, right? I mean, probably none of us came out of the womb walking. You know what I mean? It's pretty safe to say, right? So when we popped out, we couldn't walk. And now today, the majority of us are up and running around, right? So that's kind of how learning grows. It is when you first get started at anything, you're unconsciously incompetent, right? You don't know, you're unconscious, you're unaware, and you're incompetent. You can't do it. It's kind of like a little baby, right? When it comes out of the womb, it doesn't know that it can't walk. It doesn't even know what walking is, right? And then all of a sudden, you start noticing everybody's walking. So then you become conscious. You're aware that you're incompetent, that you can't do it. And you're crawling around. Everybody else is walking around. And if you stay consistent, what happens is now you become conscious. You're competent. You can do it, but you have to really focus on it, right? You're competent, but you're conscious of it. And then, whoops, push the wrong button. Then you get to the point where what happens, right? Where you can just walk and you don't even have to think about it, right? And when was the last time you congratulated yourself for that? You know what I mean? Like nobody's patting themselves on the back saying, man, you know what? I'm pretty good at walking, right? Yeah, right. But that's the stage of learning in anything, right? And we're going to become good at something anyways, right? I think everybody would agree with that over the next, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, we're going to get good at something, right? And why not get good at this industry, right? This company, this opportunity, because the opportunity that you can have financially is amazing, but the lives you can touch and the people you can change their life, that's really what's even more exciting. So let's jump into I talked about the team building pipeline is obviously when people get started, I like to do like a connection call or get them on an orientation, but I like to do like that personal touch, connect with them on maybe a Zoom or a sit down and kind of find out what their goals are and then help them launch their business, right? Or you want to have either a launch meeting or a pop-up. Pop-ups are really popular, and I'm going to talk about how and why they work so well today. But you want to have something right away. If somebody wants to grow fast, have a pop-up right away. There's no need to hesitate, right? And then 3 is helping them make a list and start to attract and attack, invite for that experience, whether it's a Zoom pop-up or a pop-up in person or whatever, just exposing people to the opportunity. And then once you've introduced people to the opportunity, you want to find out what their hot buttons are. Obviously, everybody knows that. And then what we do is what, right? We expose them in a pop-up or a Zoom. Very simple. We overcome objections after the presentation, right? And then what we do is what? We enroll them, receive the payment, get them enrolled. And then what do? We plug them into the daily Zooms to help them get more excited about what's happening, right? And then what do, right? We duplicate the same thing, get them qualified for, the focus group and bam. So it's a real simple process and it really duplicates, right? So when you think about your organization, once it starts, it'll start perpetuating. Like when you first get started in this business, I talk about this in the comp plan training, but at a job, what are we used to, right? We're used to work, check, right? You work at a job, you have a career, work, check, right? You do it for 5 years, it's work, check. If you do it for 10 years, it looks like this, work, check. If you stay consistent and you work at the same job for 20 years, it's work, check. And after 40 years, it's work, check. So it's always work, check at a job. The reason why this industry is so fun at the beginning, it takes a little bit more output, right? Because it's just you. And it might be looking like this, work, check, work, check. But after like 60 days or 30 days of staying consistent, it might be looking like work, check, work, check, work, check. And if you stay consistent for 90 days, it might look like this, work, check, work, check, work, check. And what happens is after 6 months of being consistent, it looks like this, check, work, check, work, check, work. And after a year of doing it, building it, it's check, work, check, work. That's why it's so fun, right? Because you can really create that residual income. And we're going to be talking about how to do that. So I'm going to talk today about really having a pop-up. And I know some of you, when you say a pop-up, somebody's like, whoa, or glow up. Some people call it a glow up, a pop-up, home party. To me, it doesn't matter what it is. It's basically getting some people, together and slapping some product on them, right? And you already know what happens, right? When somebody puts this product on their face, they're in, whether a customer or a planner, no matter what, you're going to win, right? So the more people that are introducing the products to people are going to be the ones that are going to win the most, right? And I'm not taking away from, anything that people are doing on social media because I know that works really well. But once you get somebody started in another city that might be far away from you, it's all about helping them launch their business and get results. And there's no better way to get results, in my personal opinion, than introducing people to the products, because that's what works, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So I always talk about anytime, it's when I do an event, right? Anything that I ever do, I always say, what must I do to be able to have the best event ever? What must I do to be able to have the best event ever? And when you ask yourself that question, it usually comes down to 3 things, right? What to do before the event to be able to have success, during the event, how to have success, and then guess what? After the event to have success. I think everybody would agree with that, right? Whatever it is, when we're talking about promoting for the event that's coming up in Vegas, right? I'm going to be focusing on what to do before, what to do during, and what to do after, right? Everything you ever do, you want to be kind of methodical about it. What do you do before? What do you do during? And what do you do after? So I'm going to train on that tonight. And I think a lot of you are going to get really good value out of this. And I'm going to start off by talking about there's emotion and time, right? So as a process is going on, whether it be an opportunity presentation or whether it be, a pop-up or anything that you're doing, as time progresses, you want that emotion to go up, right? Because once that emotion goes up, they're going to sign up. So if you see that little dotted line, that's the sign up line. So if you do decent meeting conduct, you do the right stuff during, you're going to get somebody to that sign up process, right? Now, if you don't have good, if you have great meeting conduct, people are literally going to be jacked out of their mind. They're going to be so fired up they can't sit straight, right? And they're going to have trouble sleeping that night. And that's what I try to do, right? When I do a presentation, my objective, my goal is to get them not sleeping, right? To be able to blow their mind away, right? And then obviously you've got bad meeting conduct and that won't work, right? So today I'm going to break down a little bit about what that looks like today. And I think it'll add some really great value to everybody. So let's talk a little bit about the mindset of a K pop-up, right? Why they work, why getting people together works. And it's kind of like this, basically, once you pop, you can't stop because you see the results, right? It's kind of like those chips, right? You pop that, once you pop, you can't stop, right? You ever try to eat one of those Pringles? Come on now, you can't eat one Pringles. Like, give me a break. Like, that's literally, I can eat 0 Pringles or I can eat a whole can of Pringles. Those are the 2 options, but I can't eat one. That's pop-ups for me, man. I did one this morning at 10:30 for a group of people in Seattle, right? They had I don't know, 15 people in a living room. And somebody just called me and said, hey, can you jump on a call at 10:30? I said, yeah, of course, and I jumped on a call and there was a bunch of people in the living room doing a pop-up. And I'm like, sweet. And they had like 5 people watching online too as well. And I just obviously shared the story. It's like, what do? You just share the story. Like, I mean, it's too simple, but once you pop, you can't stop because you see the results, it works and people have fun. That's the thing about like a pop-up. The reason why I like pop-up so much is I like having fun. Okay. You guys qualify for Cabo and you'll be like, yeah, Tim definitely likes to have fun, right? I'm a big fan of having fun. And once you pop, you can't stop because it's so much fun. It just literally is like getting people together. Everybody has a good time and you get results. That's what's the best part, right? So here's what I'll tell you is you want to have your pop-up no matter what. That's a mindset. I think sometimes people are like, oh, what if only a couple people show up? Perfect. Then a couple people show up. Like, that's perfect. It doesn't matter. If one person shows up, like I've done so many pop-ups, it's ridiculous. I've done ridiculous amount of pop-ups being in skincare over the last 15 years, being involved in this industry the last 30 years. We've done a bunch of home meetings. Like it's just getting people together and talking and sharing and having fun. It's like, I just like having fun. And that's the reason why they work so well is because a lot of people, if people have been busy raising kids, and some of you are in the middle of raising kids, some of you guys are past raising kids, some of you right now might be about to raise some kids. I don't know what's going on, but for myself, it's like I've been raising kids majority of my life, right? Since I was 18, 19 years old, and it's like people that have raised kids, you're not having the same type of fun you had before you had kids, right? I mean, that's just a reality. So not that it's not fun, it's a different kind of fun, I should say, right? And someone's like, raising, that's the best part of my life. I get it, me too. But you just miss that connection sometimes. So when people get together in a pop-up, it's like they have fun, right? It's like getting together with your friends and connecting with people. People love that, right? And you get good by doing it, not by watching. So you want to have that give me the ball attitude. A lot of times people are like, well, what if there's nobody in my area? Like my upline's in another state or whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter. That's what I did today. Like the upline of the people that we did it with wasn't in Seattle, but the upline was the sponsor was in, where were they at? They were in Northern California. I was in Southern California. We just, boom, tuned in and we did the deal. Just have fun with it. It's like, the thing about pop-ups is they're just absolutely so much fun, right? It's just getting together with people. Like, it's almost like a party. Like, it's like we're having a party, but we're making money at the same time. So you get good by doing them, right? So you have that give me the ball attitude. That's the biggest thing, I think, is give me the ball attitude. Let me do it. I'm ready to go. Give me a chance. I want to do it. Because you're going to get better at it. That's the magic, right? You get better at it by doing what? By doing it. Like, think about how'd you get good at walking, right? Not by reading a book about it. You just, you stood up, you fell down, you stood up, you fell down, and you had fun along the way. So just realize you want to have that give me the ball attitude. I got this, right? That's the attitude. And don't be perfect. That's the magic. Like, the reason why I like doing pop-ups is because I dummy it down so much. Like, it's like, if this guy can do it, I know I can do it, right? So don't be a know-it-all, be a do-it-all, right? We have so many smart people. Oh my God, I got to tell you guys something. I spelt one of those flyers wrong. You guys know those flyers that we just did that went up? One of them was spelt wrong. I took a picture and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. But it's like, that's me. Like, I'm everybody that works with me knows, like, dude, I'm not a know-it-all, but I'm a do-it-all, right? And that's where you make money at, right? I know some people are like, well, I like learning stuff and I like, it's cool to learn stuff. But the thing about it is the more believable you become, right? It's like, that's how you duplicate fast, So don't be perfect. You don't like, sometimes like people are like, I've been to pop-ups where people have like crab legs and stuff. I'm like, Jesus, like, stop. Like, I mean, if that's how you roll, that's how you roll. But it's like, calm down, right? It's like, have a bag of chips, right? And some products and let's make money. You know what I mean? Like I like to make it fun and duplicatable. Sometimes, people might have wine there or whatever, but just don't go overboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, these drunk people are buying everything. Well, yeah, but when they wake up, they're going to be like, what did I just get? Right. So don't have too much fun, but duplicate pop-ups fast. Like if you have 100 pop-ups going on, 100 terrible pop-ups going on a month is better than one perfect pop-up a month. You get what I mean? It's about like duplication. It's about doing it and just duplicating it. That's the magic. I always tell people a terrible pop-up today is better than a perfect pop-up tomorrow, right? It's like, just do it. Just do it. Like, don't worry. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And you're going to have massive success, right? Everything duplicates. Bigger's better. Obviously, right? If you have more people there, that's going to be better. But don't worry about like thinking, oh, I've got to have 10 people at my pop-up or I've got to have 20 people at my pop-up. Sometimes you'll hear about people like, oh my God, I had 40 people at a pop-up. Like that's over the top. Okay. It's better just to have 3 people at a pop-up. You know what I mean? Because, it's a lot easier to connect with those people. But, bigger's better. Obviously, have confidence. That's the biggest one. Have confidence, make it duplicatable, and have fun. And you notice I underword the line, have fun. That's the magic. One thing that I do a lot of is what? Have fun. You know what I mean? Like I'm just having fun. Like I'm just having fun, knocking wrinkles off people's face. I'll knock 5 years off your face. Come over to my house. I'll knock 5 years off your face. Let's go. So it's like, I just like having fun. And that's what happens at a pop-up. You just have fun. The only thing you're missing is the fact you think you're missing something. That's a big one, right? People think like, what am I missing? It's like, dude, that's what you're missing. You're missing the fact you think you're missing something. Okay. Like I just pop until I drop. You know what I mean? Like just pop till you drop. Like just do pop-ups like nonstop and your group will grow like wildfire through a dry brush field. Okay. Duplication, it's a relay race, and success in a relay race is found in the exchange zone, right? It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a what? Relay race. And how do you win a relay race? In the exchange zone. It's not necessarily the fastest people. When you train for a relay race, you train that exchange zone because you could be the fastest person in the world, but if you're afraid to give the baton to somebody, no matter what, you're going to lose that race, right? If you're in a relay race and you're the fastest person in the world, but you're afraid to accept a baton, you're going to lose the relay race. So you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to master the exchange zone. And that's what I try to do better than anybody is like, I know that anybody can do this. Like the difference between me and you is I know how dumb I am. Like you might not be like, yeah, he's not. No, I am. And I know some people, don't say you're dumb. Like I'm not trying to be smart. If I was, I wouldn't be on this training right now. I'd be reading a book or something. Okay. I'm not trying to win at Jeopardy. All right. I'm not trying to be on Alex Trebek's Jeopardy. I'm not trying to be a phone a friend. I'm trying to do what, right? Help people become successful. And how you do that is what? My mentor told me, he says, dummy it down, Tim. And I go, what do you mean by that? He goes, break out the big crowns. And I'm like, okay. And I'm writing this journal in my journal. I remember I've got a stack of journals over here. And I'm like, what does break out the big crowns mean? And he told me, he says, remember when you were in kindergarten, you had big crowns. And then when you got into first grade, you got like 32 of the little ones, right? And you always broke those ones. But the big ones, there's like 4 or 5 colors, the big fat, that's what you want to do. You want to make it fun, magical, and duplicatable. Even if you're smart. I know some of you are like, we have so many doctors in the organization. Oh, there's doctors on here. Well, I can't act dumb. I'm not saying act dumb, but at least act relatable. Do you get what I mean? Like at least act relatable. Like, don't think that, oh, well, since I'm smart, everybody's got to be smart. Like, please let everybody become successful. Okay. So that's more the mindset. Let's talk about before the event, right? Invite twice as many people as you want to show up, right? If you want to have 10 people at your event, invite 20, right? If you want to have 5, invite 10. If you want to have 3, invite 6, right? Whatever you want, invite twice as many that you want to show up. Pick a location. It doesn't matter, right? Office, home, recreation room, restaurant. It doesn't matter. I've done pop-ups before in like the craziest of places. I literally have done them. I was telling a girl this morning, like I did pop-ups in a trailer park one time. And we busted out inside a trailer. And then they were all jacked up. And then they went to the trailer next to them and just went around grabbing people. I did 3 back to back in a trailer park, signed up a bunch of people. Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter where you do it. In a recreation room, in a restaurant. I've done them in restaurants. I did one in Northern California one time in San Francisco. No, in San Jose. And there was like 50 people in a freaking round table pizza. And the guys are like banging dough. And I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. But it doesn't matter. You're just having fun, right? And, so I always tell people pick 2 pop-ups to promote. Alternative choice, right? When's going to be better for Sunday or Monday, right? Saturday or Tuesday, right? Or whatever. Give them 2 options to be able to choose from. Usually I like to do weekends and weekdays. It doesn't matter. But here's the most important thing is confidence, excitement, exclusivity, tie down. tie down is key, right? And you obviously want to edify a third-party credibility. Like if you're doing it on your own in an area, let's say your sponsor, your upline is not in your area, have them jump on a Zoom, right? Have them jump on a Zoom and plug it into a TV. Now, I know some of you are like, I don't know how to do that. Welcome to my world. Like, I don't know how to do that either. Like, I have no idea how to hook up a computer to a TV. Okay. Like 0% chance I could figure that out. But my daughter could, you know what I mean? So that's why, I have kids, right? So if you have somebody smart around you, have them help you out. If not, you can do it on your phone. It doesn't even matter. Like, just have fun, right? That's literally what we're talking about here. But when you tie down, I'm going to share with you a tie down. Tie down is the key to everything, because a tie down means that you're going to get them to show up. Okay. Like if I say, if I'm giving, like, I see Chrissy Malone here. If I'm talking to Chrissy, I'm gonna be like, Chrissy, like, I know you're a reliable person. I can definitely count on you to be there. Right. Just that little phrase right there. I know you're a reliable person, so I definitely can count on you to be there. Right. And if they say, well, I'm going to try to make it, listen for those words. Like, I'll try. Oh yeah, definitely. I'll probably be there. Like, probably try. I'm like, probably. Like, I catch that phrases, right? I catch a phrase like, oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'll probably be there. It's like, whoa, probably? Like, look, man, I got to make sure that you're going to be there. Right. And so I like to tie it down, because I want to make sure that this is what we used to do. This is funny, is we would tell people to bring a bag of ice. This is hilarious. Okay. This is funny. You guys want to do this. It might be too much fun, but I was like, look, hey, hey, can you bring a bag of ice? And like literally everybody would be walking into our pop-ups with like a bag of ice. And like literally I would just throw them out. Literally, I have a stack of ice. Because people think like, oh, they're counting on me. I better bring a bag of ice. Oh God. Just have fun, right? To think, you know what I mean? Like use your brain and just come up with some ideas too, right? It's like, have them do something. But be prepared. Have products there. Obviously, mirrors, product order forms. I like to do order forms. I know some of you are like, man, well, I do everything electronically because I'm sophisticated. I mean, I'm kind of old school like that. Print off some order forms. You know what I mean? And they don't have to be like color copies. And you got to, I mean, if you want to spend the big bucks, go ahead. You know what I mean? But say like have some printed off stuff there, applications, product brochures, product boxes, Inselderm video. You got to make sure you show them the Inselderm video. But I like to tell people like, look, assault their senses. What do I mean by that? Sight, smell, taste, touch, sound, right? So I'll like break out some candles, make it smell good, like not all romantic or anything like that. But I'm saying like, if you don't like, you guys don't know how crazy I am about this. I used to spray orange before the meetings, right? Because I read somewhere that smell of orange opens people's mind. I have no idea if that's true or not. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like, have it smell good. Like you don't want to have it smell like a dirty dog. You know what I mean? You guys don't know what I'm talking about, right? You want to make it smell good. Obviously sight, you want them to be able to see. You don't have to clean your house like next level. Like don't be like over the top, because that sometimes stresses people out. Like, dude, I'm going to do a pop-up. I got to clean my house. Relax. You know what I mean? But, make it look somewhat representable. Taste, like I like to have water with like a cucumber in it, like cucumber water, or like, like spa water type situation, right? Touch, like you want them to touch the products. Sound, I do sound. Like I'll have like some light music. That's a big one, the music, right? So when I do a pop-up and then right when the pop-up's over, play the music again. So it's right when we're done and then we're answering questions, have that light music. It's kind of like when you go to Starbucks, they have like music playing. Why do they do that, right? Because it encourages people to talk, right? So I'm such a stickler on these little bitty details. And I know like somebody goes, well, what if I don't have music on? You're still going to be successful. I'm just giving you the tips. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it. If your house stinks, it's probably okay. Don't worry about it, right? These are your buddies. They probably have smelt it before, but inviting people over to your house is simple to do. Like anybody ever had a birthday party? You ever had a Super Bowl party? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just to have fun, right? I watch Angie's training videos before, like the product training, get some of those. So you have like a little bit of understanding on the products, but don't be an expert. Like, don't be an expert. Like, let me tell you guys a secret. I hit director before I could say Centella Asiatica. Okay. Like that one was tough. That was tough. And I used to say like, there's this, I don't know what it's called, but this, I just call it tiger grass. I don't know what it's called. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Just, I like to call it tiger grass because I can remember tigers, but you don't have to worry about all that stuff. You don't have to be an expert. Don't be like, well, let me explain to you how this microfluidization process works. Like, I get it now, but like, I didn't know. I was like, do they make this stuff all small, gets in your skin and boom, you look sexy. It's like, dude, just trust me, put it on. People, when they get the product on their face, they know it works. Like that's the deal. Like you can't debate the fact when you put the product on your face, you know your face feels different. People fall in love. So I take before and afters right there and they can see a difference before, right? It's absolutely. So have your kids, your pets, your negative family members in the other room. You get what anybody's got, I mean, negative family members like, yeah, you got a negative spouse, right? Don't worry about it. Put them in the other room. But I'm just kidding. But you know, but I'm not really though, but put your dog in the other room. Like I've been attacked by dogs before and oh my God. Oh God. I don't even want to tell you guys this story, but my buddy, Andy, we were doing a pop-up at his house and his dog got loose. Okay. I'm not afraid of a dog. I've been bit by a dog before, but this dude, when I told him, I said, hey man, put your dog away. He took it seriously and he like straight jumped on his dog and was like wrestling his dog. I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like you've got guests here watching them like Michael Vick on this dog. I'm like, bro, stop, dude. Like, but I mean, we've had so much fun at these things. Visualize the results you want. That's the biggest thing, right? People are all they're going to get off of this call is like, okay, beat your dog. No, don't beat your dog. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh God. But visualize the result that you want. That's the biggest thing about anything, right? Is living your life with expectancy. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to see it to be able to achieve it, right? You know, if you believe it and you see it, you can achieve it. You got to be able to visualize the result that you want. When I call somebody, I expect them to be jacked out of their mind, right? You know, I'm like, oh, this person's gonna be so pumped up, you know. So when you're inviting, expect people to want to, you know, hear about it. Expect people to want to get it. Just expect the result that you want. That gives you so much confidence when you're inviting and when you're doing your presentation and stuff like that. Don't be nervous about like, oh, what if I mess up? Like it doesn't matter. Like it's better to mess up. I used to like knock stuff over on purpose, okay, to let people know I could do it. You guys think I'm joking. I'm dead serious until listen to this. This is all true stuff I'm telling you guys. Okay. We built $1 billion company just doing pop-ups. Remember 15 years ago, there was not like social media. Like you guys are all making money on social media, making these videos and stuff. Like we didn't have that 15 years ago. There was no social media. Okay. We built this company. We built $1 billion company just off pop-ups. But I did a pop-up. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I did a pop-up and I would tell people, yeah, have candles, right? And I would always knock stuff over. Well, I knocked a freaking candle over and caught a freaking like a tablecloth on fire. So if you're knocking stuff over on purpose, be a little smart, okay? You don't want to burn down anybody's house. Like it was, I mean, everybody signed up there. They're like, this guy's making money. Dude, I can do this. You know, so I like to be believable, but like knocking over a candle and to burn a tablecloth is not recommended. Okay. Just learn from my mistakes. Okay. I could make a training on what not to do. Right. So during the presentation, what do you want to do? Right. What do you want to do during the presentation? When I present, guess what I do? I ask a lot of questions. Why do I ask a lot of questions? Because when I ask a question, it engages your thinking. Think about what I'm doing right now. What am I doing right now? I'm asking you questions. So when I ask questions, what kind of questions do I like to ask? I like to ask open door questions, meaning what, when, where, why, and how. So if I ask you, you know, like, is your day going good? You're going to say yes or no. But if I say, how was your day? Tell me about your day. That you're going to elicit a response. So when I'm asking an open door question, I'm trying to elicit more of a response in their brain. So if I ask somebody like, what would you do with an extra $3,000 or $4,000 a month right now? What would your life look like? I'm asking a question that's going to stimulate thought process. And then I might answer it for them, right? If I'm doing a larger group, maybe there's 5 or 10 people at a pop-up, I might ask them like, you know, what would your life look like if we could show you how to promote these products and use these products and show these products and make an extra $5,000 a month? You know, how would that change your life? And I'm going to answer it. Maybe you might want to what? Maybe you might want to have a, you know, pay off some of your bills, right? Maybe you want to take more vacations. Maybe you want to put your kids in a private school or whatever. So you ask a question, then you kind of answer it. It's called painting people into the picture. Okay. This is kind of like advanced. Like someone goes, what if I forget all this? Don't worry about it. Just do your best. You'll learn it as you go. It's kind of like this. The people that need this the most are going to get it the least. And the people that need it the least are going to get it the most. Meaning what? Meaning people that are already doing like, if you're doing like 2 or 3 pop-ups a week, you're like freaking taking notes like crazy. And you're loving it. But if you haven't done a pop-up yet, or you haven't done a pop-up in a while, you might not be getting a lot from this. But it's all about, look, it's easy to learn how to drive a car, but you've got to first do what? Turn the car on. You get what I'm saying? So ask what? Open door questions. Why do you want to ask open door questions? Because it stimulates a thought, right? So like basically, what do you want to do, right? Ask a lot of questions. Ask. So connection is finding common ground. That's one of the most important things, right? How to connect with people. For me, it's really easy to connect with people. because I just ask questions. And then what do? Connect with them, right? If somebody's like, and when I talk to somebody and I'm trying to find common ground, like if somebody's like, I'm like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? And they're like, oh, I like to water ski. And I'm like, oh, water ski, that's stupid. Like, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to be like, man, if you don't like to water ski, you know, you have never done it before, something be like, man, I like have so much respect for water skiers. I see how they do that. I'm like, dude, they look like they're having so much fun. I gotta start trying that sometime, right? So it's about connecting with people, and even if you don't have anything to connect with, making them feel good about whatever the response is, right? So, like if I'm talking to somebody smart, like you know, like a doctor, like I have a lot of doctors and lawyers in the organization, and I'm talking to a doctor, lawyer, I'm like, geez, you know, like, man, I look up to you so much, and then I'll just relate to them. I say, for you, it's really easy to understand because you've got natural credibility, right? People just automatically look at you and they're just like in awe of you, right? Because you're a doctor, right? People respect you so much, you have so much credibility. I go, but for you, it's so important to make sure that the efficacy of the product is so important, right? Because you can't stand behind something that doesn't have a lot of credibility. And I go, that's the reason why I think we're you know, attracting so many high quality people like yourself is because they fall in love with the quality of the product. So when I relate to people, I'm kind of making them feel good about who they are. And then I'm boom, you know what I mean? Connecting with the reason why this works so well. So connections, finding common ground, be over the top confident. Remember this, the one-eyed person rules the valley of the blind. Do you get what I'm saying? The one-eyed person rules the valley of the blind. You're right. Just have confidence. They don't know anything about Riman. If you're talking about, K Beauty, but you say it's the, number one K skincare company, and don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about trying to be perfect. Just have fun, right? Have a great time, laugh, smile. I mean, that's it. Always ask yourself, am I more of an Eeyore or a Tigger? You get what I'm saying? Like, if you were in the 100-acre wood, which one would you be? See what I mean? And if you're like, I'm kind of an Eeyore, well, guess what? You're not a goose. You know what I mean? You don't have to fly south in the wintertime, right? You could do whatever you want to do. Like, you could start being excited and happy. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. Just be whoever you want to be. Like, it's an opportunity to be able to be a happy person, right? So just be excited. Stories tell, facts tell. I tell so many stories. That's why I love getting on the Zooms. I like hearing people's stories, but I just share story after story after story after story. Convey your enthusiasm, right? Enthusiasm is the way that you hold life's possibilities. It shows up in your demeanor. That's like one of the best things that I ever heard. And I'll say it again. Enthusiasm is the way that you hold life's possibilities. That shows up in your demeanor. Like, what's possible? And how do you feel about that? It's like, man, get excited about where we're going, right? So people buy results, not ingredients. So I like to just show before and after, 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 before and after. People buy results, not ingredients. So just always talk about results, okay? And my favorite line is this. I don't know about that, but all I know is this, right? I'll tell people, man, I don't know about that, but look, man, my wife would only kiss me if I had a bag over my head, right? So I started using these products, and now I don't have to have a bag on my head to kiss out my wife, And I had people start laughing, but I'm like, I just have fun with it, man. So just be you excited, be you happy, be you having fun, but just have fun. Like, it's all about having fun. And the more you do, the more fun you have, right? So after the presentation, after the pop-up, what do? Some people close to live and other people live to close. You see that? Like, some people close to live and other people live to close. So if you're trying to get somebody started in the business because of what it can do for you, people will smell that on you. Right. But if you're doing it, my calling, I believe, is to help people. Like, I honestly believe that with all of my heart, right? Is to help people change their lives. That's my calling, right? I've been blessed to be able to learn something that can help people out, right? So what do? I live to get people started in the business for what it can do for them, not what it can do for me. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to become wealthy with it without them. Like, that's not going to have a bearing on my success. But if they get started in the business, I can help pour into them. So it's all about that confidence that you've got in believing on where you're going. Like, if you had a crystal ball and you could see into the future, and I know many of you're like, man, I would just be happy making a few thousand a month. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I want you to think about is this: if everything came together for you, not what you think you can get, but just think if everything came together for you, and just say that you were making, Danny Bay money, right? You know what I mean? You're wealthy beyond imagination. And you knew that was going to happen no matter what. Would you be calling people out of desperation for what you want to do, right? Or would you be sharing it with them for what it can do for them? Like, let's face it. Yeah, it's great that we make money sharing these products with our family and friends. That's great. That's wonderful. But the reality is that we're making them look better. Like it's like they are literally going to look in the mirror and be like, dang, like I look better. And that's what to me is what it's all about. Like I'm making people look better. Like they're going to look in the mirror and be more excited about what they see. Cause you know how it is, like, man, like when I like probably when I hit about 35, right? I would start looking in the mirror and I'm like, damn, damn, I'm man, ooh, right. I remember telling my wife, the one thing about you, that I can't believe. And she's like, what? I go, that you were making out with my ugly ass. Like, come on. Like, man, I was looking like hell, like it's like, man, but it's like, I know I'm not good looking, but I know I'm not as ugly as I was. Right. And it's like, man, if I could just make people look better, like that's amazing. And I can help people become successful financially. It's like, I want to get people involved in this business for what it can do for them, not what it can do for me. You know what I mean? So don't come out people like, out of desperation, like I got to get this person in so I can hit senior manager. Like you're going to hit senior manager just by helping people out, like helping people look better. You know what I mean? So I like to ask people, what product did you like best? What was your favorite product? And I like to sell the product on the spot. That's why when I got started, I got a lot of products, right? Because I got a lot of people started right on the spot. I had products that were there. So I enrolled them as a customer and I had it sent to my house and I gave them the product on hand, right? That's how I did it, right? And so you're basically cash and carry, but sell the product on the spot, AAFTC, right? Always ask for the close. Always ask for the close, right? Always ask for the close. Because if you know these products are going to change people's life, which I honestly don't believe anybody on this call that's tried the products is going to be like, yeah, these products aren't that good. Like everybody knows we have the most superior products on the planet. Everybody knows that. So if you believe in the products, you're going to want to get people started. So people always ask me, like, I'm so scared to close. How do I learn how to close? Go to the grocery store and buy some groceries and see how the cashier closes you. Like they're not going to be like, are you sure? I actually had that happen one time. I came home. I was like traveling for a month. This is a long time ago. I can remember this first year, December of like 2012 or something. I was on the road. I did like 20 events and I got home after 20 city tour. I came back and I remember going to the grocery store by our house to get I was eating chocolate Cheerios. Okay. I was a big chocolate Cheerio guy and I'm like craving chocolate Cheerios. And like the guy's like, dude, you really want to buy all these chocolate Cheerios? And he's like seriously talking me out of it. I'm like, bro, yes, I want all these chocolate Cheerios. And the cashier was sitting there debating me. Like he was about to call security to be like, you know what? We're not sure if we should give this guy all these chocolate Cheerios. You know what I mean? When I go buy water, I buy water for the whole month, right? I go in with a big cart, like, and I buy a bunch of water because I don't like buying water every week. You know what I mean? So I don't want somebody to debate me, right? It's like, just take my money, let's go. So it's kind of like, that's how closing is to me. It's like, I know you liked it, let's go, let's get these products, right? So fill out the application or the order forms with them. That's a big one, right? Share your story and share your ritual. That's what I like to do. Like I like to tell people my story. I heard about 8 steps. Please, I ain't doing no 8 steps. Come on. I started with one product and I started seeing results and I backed into all of them, right? It was like, now it's like, I'm using product like left and right. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like, boom, what are we waiting for? I'm serious. I'm getting dialed in. So promote the next event, right? Book a pop-up from a pop-up. That's big. The reason why it's so cool that we have events every day, like if I'm doing one-on-ones all day long, 2-on-1s, I'm doing presentations all day long. I'm talking to people about the Remount opportunity nonstop. So I like to, after I get done with it, I like to get them to whatever the next call is going on right now. Like whatever's going on that night, I get them on that call. Whatever's going on the next day, I get them on that call. So I'm always getting that as a second exposure. I'm getting them another exposure. But you want to book a pop-up from a pop-up, right? Book a pop-up from a pop-up, right? And when's the next one that we're going to do? How many of you want to have one? Let's do one this time. And just kind of circle the wagons and get everybody book a pop-up from a pop-up, right? And when you're overcoming objections, this is so powerful. God, I love this. Watch. When you have an objection, use a cushion. Wow. Why is this important? This is probably the most important thing I learned about signing people up is finesse. And that's a cushion. So if somebody's like, I like these products, but I want to talk to my husband first, right? Or I want to talk to my wife first or whatever, they have an objection. I'm not going to remove the objection. I'm going to use a cushion. I'm going to be like, look, I know exactly how you feel. Like that's how I was, right? If somebody's like, I need to think about it, I'm going to be like, Literally, that's how I was. Like I was like, I was like hesitant. I didn't even know, right? And so I'm gonna connect with them. I'm gonna make them feel good about that, right? If someone's like, like that's how a lot of people are. Like I'm glad you said that because most people that's how they think, right? So I make them feel good about whatever they're saying, and then I remove the objection, right? So whatever the objection is, doesn't matter. I'll remove it. So it's like I talk to my husband, right? It's like I know exactly how you are. Like that's how I am. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna say I need to talk to my husband, right? I'm gonna say, look, that's how I am. Like when I do stuff, I like to talk to my wife, right? Because last thing I want to do, right, is to make her mad, right? But I go, but the reality is that like I know it's easier to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. Would you agree with that, right? And then I say, look, one thing I know, my wife's not going to be mad if I'm starting to look a little bit better. You know what I mean? So let's get you dialed in. Let's get these. We'll start with something small, start seeing the results, and then maybe upgrade you to a later situation. So I like to finesse it, and make people feel good about having objection, and then overcoming it, right? So always make sure everyone leaves happy. That's the biggest thing about a pop-up. No matter what, when people leave, make sure they're happy. You guys see that? Like happy people. That we're the PR team for Riman. You guys see that? Like the last thing I want to do is have somebody like, yeah, I saw Riman, and Suzanne. Yeah, I met this girl Suzanne, and she made me feel awkward for not buying the products. Like, you know what I mean? I'm picking on Suzanne, but it's like we don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like I know we're not like that anyways, right? But I'm just saying, like, make sure that everybody's happy about it, like no matter what. Like that's the thing about like I really could care less if somebody buys or doesn't buy. I could really care less if someone joins or doesn't join, for my benefit. But for their benefit, I care because I want them to win. I want them to be successful. But I don't push people to make them feel bad. Like I'm confident, but I'm not like making people feel awkward, right? If they don't want to get started, it's like don't even worry about it. I'm not like, oh yeah, looking good is not for everybody. Like I'm not gonna say that. Can you imagine? I went to one of those Remon presentations and freaking Betty Baker was like, hey, look at you, you're ugly. You better stop. Oh God. Oh my God. I'm about to die laugh. I'm thinking about one of the number one team leader right now in our organization. She was on stage saying that's something funny like that. She's like, oh, people have good hearts. They have good hearts, but man, look at their face. I died. Oh my God, I died. I was like, oh, wow. Oh God. But just make sure everybody leaves happy. That's the most important thing. So right now with these bonuses going on, you want to sneak people in right now. Like that's the biggest thing I want to encourage you all to do is to get people started in the month of December. Like right now, there's going to be so many people in the last 48 hours that get started that we've exposed. They're going to be like trying to sneak in and get a December start date. You want to make sure you get as many people started at now as you can because this bonus is going to keep people running all like for the next few months, right? People are going to be running for the next 12 months. So the people 2020, what next year is, right? 2025 is going to be determined by December 2024, right? So we get a lot of people started. They're going to be running hard for the next few months. So let's sneak as many people in as we possibly can. Don't let people miss out on this. You guys all know this is huge. I didn't even know anything about Boxing Day. Like I was on a call with the Canadians and they were like, what are we doing for Boxing Day? And I'm like, there's a holiday called like, what are we boxing on? The day after Christmas, we're going to start boxing? I go, I didn't even know you guys were doing that up there. You guys are boxing? And they were like, no, it's like a big holiday. I'm like, whoa, I had no idea. So we got a Boxing Day. I called the company. I'm like, hey, we got to do a Boxing Day promotion, right? And they're like, what are these guys talking about? But we're going to do one, right? So we're going to have one. They're going to announce that probably in the next like 7 days or so, but it's going to be attractive. So we want to start getting the ball rolling now, start getting a lot of traction now. And what I would encourage you to do is if you're running for team leader and maybe somebody's like, dude, I'm not even a senior manager yet, relax. It doesn't matter. You want to start building for it, right? You want to start building for it. And I always call it the 10-3, right? Get 10 people started and help at least 3 of them go senior manager. And now they don't all have to be 10 separate legs. But if you do have 10 separate legs as managers and senior managers, when you hit team leader, you're going to be making a fat check, right? So the wider you are, the bigger your check's going to be once you get there. So, and if you hit team leader, you still want to be sponsoring new lines, right? Because it's going to help your organization grow because they're going to see you leading by example. People always like, how do I help people? Well, you help people by doing the right activity, right? The best way to help somebody is to do the right thing. If you're doing the right thing, it's easy for me. Like it's easy for me to convince you guys to do stuff because I'm doing stuff. People are like, man, I just get inspired talking to Tim. He makes me want to go do stuff. Well, because I'm sold on it, right? If I'm sold on working, I can sell you on working. You know what I mean? Like, because I believe in it. I believe in sharing this opportunity with people, right? Because everybody that comes within contact with me, I'm sharing it with them. So understand that you can count up to 5 per leg of your managers. But the 10-3, if you get your people running for manager or senior manager before Boxing Day promotion happens, they're going to be able to make more money on that promotion day. It's always about building up prior to, because everybody on this call is going to want to go team leader before what? Right? Before the convention, right? So you can go to that party. You know what I mean? When's the time to start preparing for team leader? At the beginning of March? No, right now, right? So even if you have 1 or 2 people hit manager between now and then, you're going to be in a better situation because you're going to be moving towards your 10-3. So just understand that, Rome's not built in a day. I know some of you are like brand new to this. You're like, can I do it? Like, trust me, I was the same way. When I got involved in this industry, I didn't know if I could do it or not, but I knew I didn't want to work at a job for the rest of my life. So I was like, man, I'm going to go for it, right? So just realize that you're going to learn and get better as you go, but you're doing all the right, being on this call, it sets you apart from everybody else. It really does. Like, you should feel good about yourself just by being on this call, because you're going to walk away with some new information. Maybe one thing I said, right? Maybe all you got from it is don't beat up dogs at a at a pop-up, right? Don't burn down a pop-up. But all I'm saying is, like, if you stay around the fire, it's kind of like you're charging your battery. You guys, you know what I mean? Have you ever had a phone die? Like, oh my God. Like, that's like some of you guys right now just thinking about your phone being dead, like, is giving you like nervousness, right? And it's like you want to stay charged. And that's why we have these calls all the time, because sometimes you might just need a little pickup. You jump on a call, and then next thing you know, boom, you get excited because somebody on the call got you excited. So it's like when you plug into calls, you're going to get excited. Maybe everything I said on this call you knew already, or maybe you got nothing from it, right? But the thing about it is you're like, well, I don't know much, but I know this guy's excited, right? So you want to try to get it plugged in as much as possible, but utilize impending events to drive people to hit ranks so they can win during those impending events, right? Because if you hit before the 26th, if somebody hits manager on the 26th, they're going to get paid as a manager, right? So always help people be in a position to win, right? That's what that's all about. So call to action. What are we doing? Number 1, right? Have 5 guests on the Zoom tomorrow. That's going to be big, right? Imagine that, right? Imagine if you have 5 people on a Zoom tomorrow, right? What would happen if you scheduled everybody knows, right? Every Saturday at 1 o'clock Pacific, we have a Zoom. We've been doing that for the last year. So what would happen if you had a pop-up at that same exact time and you pop the pop-up in, right? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you could have a pop-up during one of the Zooms, on Wednesday night. If you have a pop-up, boom, during the Zoom time or whatever, right? You can do whatever you want to do. Just have fun with it. But have 5 guests on the opportunity overview tomorrow. And maybe you only have 1. Who cares? Get some people on. Like, and you guys got to realize Kai is a beast. Like, Kai hit director in 26 days. Like, that's an unheard of. Like, that was faster than I did. So this guy is going to be on there sharing what he's talking about. Like, he's excited. In our previous company, this guy made it $1.5 million in 1 month. 1 month. Like, somebody makes $1.5 million in 1 month. And when he got started, he was homeless, like living in the guy's story is unbelievable, right? I mean, it's literally the most miraculous story you've ever heard in your life. Like, so it's like, man, you get guests on there, they're going to get fired up, right? Kai's like doing this call for us and it's going to be awesome, right? I know everybody's going to get great value. Host 2 pop-ups this week. Take the pop-up challenge. Pop-up challenge, right? I'm challenging you guys all to do 2 pop-ups this week. Man, I don't care if there's 1 person at your pop-up. I'm challenging you to do it. And I know some of you are like, don't challenge me because I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do 2 pop-ups, Tim, just to show you what's up. And you know what's going to happen if you take the pop-up challenge? You're going to be like, man, this is too much fun, dude. Like, I can't believe the results that I got from this. This is unbelievable. So it's like the pop-ups work. They absolutely work, right? Getting people, and they're called glow-ups. I know somebody's like, we call them glow-ups where I'm from in our organization. Guys, stop. It doesn't matter what it's called. I don't care what it's called. I honestly, it's like slap some product on some faces, find a wrinkle. Like, come on, baby, what are we doing? Like, give me a wrinkle. I'm getting rid of it. I'm knocking wrinkles off people's faces. Damn, I'm so excited. So get qualified for the focus group. Monday, we got the focus group call. Let's get qualified. If you're close to manager, let's get you qualified. Let's get you wrapped up like a burrito. And you got people in your organization, let's wrap them up. Let's get everybody qualified for the focus group call. Qualify for Cabo ASAP, right? There's 137 people that have already qualified, 113 left or whatever the number is, something like that. It's 55% already full, so there's 45% left. So let's go. Some of you guys are running for that. Let's do it. Some of you are like, well, I'm just brand new. Can I do it? Absolutely, you can do it. It's all in you. You're 6 inches away from being in Cabo. It's the 6 inches between your left and right ear. Believe you can, know you can, and make it happen, right? Let's go. And then obviously sneak everybody in, right? So they can sneak their friends in by the December to remember bonus. Look at what I'm saying. If you wait to get people started on the 28th of December, are they really going to have time to sneak in a lot of friends? No, right? But if you get some people started this week, do they have times? At least you're giving them the opportunity to be able to sneak their friends in, right? And let their friends participate with us in this bonus. I mean, that to me is what it's all about. So tonight, I gave everybody a lot of information, right? That's the bottom line. And I know some of you are like, man, you know what? Wow, I got you went over a lot of stuff, Tim. I know some of you that maybe if English isn't your first language, or I know some of you guys aren't first language, you're like, this dude talks fast. So I apologize for doing that, but I get fired up. Like I'm so excited right now because I know our future's not what it used to be. What I saw in Korea blew my mind away. You guys got to realize we have a company called Ask Labs that we own. That's basically our research and development company. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the new bottling that's coming. I'm telling you guys, what we're doing is over the top. Like nobody's doing what we're doing. Nobody's doing what we're doing. I've been in network marketing and direct sales for 30 years, okay? Nobody's doing what we're doing. Nobody. I walked into the third floor of this Ask Labs, like the building, that the third floor is all these people, and they didn't even know I was coming. It was like Chris, like, hey, on our way out of HQ, he's like, hey, I'm gonna swing by the third floor and show Tim. So we walked by we went into the third floor. There was like 60 people, 60 freaking people working, not like just standing around by a water cooler. You know what I mean? They were working on stuff, making our products better. Like when I went and sat with the CEO of Ask Labs and he showed me like the stuff they're working on, I'm like, what? You guys are unbelievable. And it's like, we have the deal. Like nobody's bringing products to the market like what we are. Like we have the best stuff on the planet already. And what we have, like it's getting better. Like there's going to be so much. Just imagine like where we're going to be at in 3 years, where we're going to be at in 5 years. Can you imagine? Like, think about it. We're opening up 40 countries in the next 5 years. What? There's going to be like no wrinkles left in the world. There's going to be like that one country we're not in where everybody's got wrinkles. Everybody else is wrinkless. Like, can you imagine like how good looking everybody's going to be? Like, damn. Can you imagine? Can you imagine people like, man, remember before Riman came out, like everybody was ugly and now everybody, it's like, dude, we're going to make everybody so beautiful. So just realize this window of opportunity right now that we have, it'll never happen again. And I'm telling you right now, we're just getting started. Like we haven't even started. In my mind right now, this is like day one. Like I feel like it's not even day one yet. And it's like, imagine where we're all going to be at. But guess what? Being in the right place, the right time doesn't guarantee us financial freedom if we don't do anything about it. Right? It's like we have a gift. Like I feel like, you know, we have a gift. Riman's rebirth, right? Is what it stands for. It's like we have an opportunity of a lifetime in our fingertips, but we got to have the heart to share it with people. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's not like somebody says no. Like it doesn't matter to me. I'm getting rich with it without them. It doesn't matter to me, but it matters to them. So it's like, what kind of a jerk would I be? Like if I was stingy with my opportunity, right? Like what? I don't want to be that guy that's stingy. Not letting people participate. No, we're not accepting applications anymore. It's like, no way, man. I'm letting people in on this thing. We're going to think about this. The biggest money earners in Riman haven't even started yet. Think about that. That's a reality. You guys got to realize that the biggest money earner in Riman doesn't even know it exists. Think about that. Whoa. And guess what? What if that person, you sponsor that person at a pop-up tomorrow? Like, are you get them on the tomorrow? You never know. So the way I look at this industry and this opportunity is like this. I look at it like this. It's like having a Christmas presents that are unlimited. Imagine a Christmas tree that just is shooting out unlimited gifts. That's what we have. Every time we introduce somebody to this opportunity, it's like opening up a Christmas gift. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to open up the door to possibilities for people in their life, man. I'm so excited about our future. I appreciate everybody's time. I apologize for rambling on a little bit. I get so excited about this opportunity. I am so excited and honored to be able to serve you guys. Hopefully tonight you got some value. I appreciate and love all of you guys. Let's make it happen. Let's go after it. Let's start doing some pop. Let's pop till we drop, baby. Let's go, you guys. Talk to you guys soon.